Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? What we're going to be talking about right now is some things that were sent in by community members, and this is things that are very important to them, so in return they are very important to me. This first email comes in from a community member. She said the popular report read an email from a person who was denied surgery 4 times and claimed that Humana was not covering prescriptions for her anymore because she's 74 years of age. Really? She was referred to what is called euphemistically a pain clinic in Daytona, Florida, where she would be accidentally on purpose. What the? I'd like to get another opinion in case she was falsely interpreting what had happened, and I don't want to be sued by Humana. Why would you be sued by Humana? But it wouldn't surprise me. Dave Hodges had knee problems, and his doctor had arranged for him to have some sort of shot in the knee, only to have a procedure denied because he was too old. And he's not even Medicare age yet. In the end, he used some sort of nutraceutical and recovered functionally better than his mid-20s. And as I recall, he is not alone. My coworker got both of her knees done before retiring, and I urged my sister to follow suit because knee surgeries were denied due to age. I guess they want us all using canes. Thanks, Obamacare. Well, that's not the first time I'm hearing about insurance troubles. I'm having insurance troubles myself. So here is an article that was sent in by a community member, and I'll read a little bit of it to you and then leave the link in the description box below. So the U.S. Navy oil replenishment ship serving the USS Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group deployed in the Middle East in support of Israel amid its ongoing war with Hamas and soaring tension between other Iran-backed groups ran aground Monday off the coast of Oman. U.S. officials told CBS national security correspondent the damage to the USNS Big Horn was significant enough to cause the partial flooding of the vessel, and it was being escorted by tugboats into port for a full assessment. Jeez. So here is an email from a community member. She said, this is about a follow-up from Newport, Tennessee. She said, I'm outside of Newport, but it's my own little town. The article you were reading from was a little bit off, and I didn't want to contradict the video, so I'm shooting you this. The dam is actually in North Carolina. Really? Well, then why was everybody saying that it was in Tennessee? In another small town called Waterville, Newport is not far from North Carolina border. The dam is actually called Walter Dam. The water from the broken dam is running into Pigeon River, which was already out of its banks and supposed to crest now with this dam mess over 24 feet, which will be historical levels. There's another river that runs about a mile to the north of Pigeon River. It's called the French Broad and runs parallel to Pigeon River. Both rivers run into Douglas Lake. They're having to open up the Douglas Lake Dam to offset the overflow. I see this as a downhill effect. I'm up in what's called the Coke County Smoky Mountains. So we went up here in the hills and we're fine. We're cut off, but we won't flood. Huh. Wow. Okay. What the heck? So MSM, oh, not MSM, really. So every article that I was reading was giving false information then. Well, that's a fucking surprise. So here's something from a community member. She said, my cousin has worked at Chubb, and that's CHUBB Medical Insurance, for more than 30 years. She planned to retire in May of 2025, but this year Chubb laid off more than 500 employees reaching retirement age. They were given a year's pay as severance. Wow. So they're not even giving them a chance to even retire and collect benefits and have health insurance. They're just, jeez. So here's something that was sent in by a community member. Until today, if you spend $50 or more before tax and shipping, you will receive 24 free lids, 12 regular, 12 wide. And this is for, it's called, a company called 4 Jars. Plus, every $50 that you order before tax and shipping automatically enters you into a $2,000 giveaway with 10 lucky winners. Huh. Okay. I've never heard of this place. 4 Jars? That's interesting. Okay, I'm going to leave the link in the description box below for you guys. So here's this picture. How funny is this? It says, and this was sent in by a community member, this is the USA. There is no one coming to rescue if things go sideways. No one will be here resupplying us. No one will airdrop food, ammo, or medicine. There is no place to escape to for freedom. This is it. And this is so correct. You know, it's like, matter of fact, you know, like when the hurricane hit us, okay? People were going crazy and they were buying everything off the shelves, and it was just like, you know, and Sean and I, we sat back, and our kids, and we sat back, you know, because even like, you know, my son and Jesse, you know, because they lived with us for what, 3 years before they got their own place. And when Jesse first met us and she moved in and they got married and stuff like that, you know, because you guys know that, you know, I'm an ordained minister, and I was the one that, you know, conducted the ceremony and stuff like that. And Jessie didn't understand. You know, she didn't understand. She's like, what do you mean you stockpile? I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. And then she started to see. And now that they have their own place, she gets excited now. Because now she's one of those extreme couponers. And she'll call me and she'll say, Mom, guess what, guess what, guess what? And matter of fact, because you guys know that I film at night, okay? And it's still Sunday. And the kids came over today, and they brought my grandchildren with them, and I'm, you know, doing whatever we know with the kids, and one of the, what do you want to call it, like the hurricane places, they had a whole bunch of MREs and bottled water and stuff like that, and they literally, they couldn't get rid of the stuff. So Jesse's mom, she is retired Army, she's disabled, and she said, you need to get a hold of Andrew's mom and, you know, tell her about this stuff. And she's like, oh, they're not going to want it, you know, they don't need that, you know, I know what she's going to say. She's going to say leave it for the people who need it, and that's exactly what I said. So she said, no, you don't understand. They're literally trying to give this stuff away. They've got so much of it and nobody wants it. So the kids came over and they had a carload of MREs and bottled water. And it was the CERT bottled water, a CRT. And this is water that is good for 25 years. So I've got boxes and boxes and boxes of MREs now, and boxes and boxes and boxes of this CERT water. And Andrew goes, Mom, he said, we have all this stuff at the apartment too. And he goes, we have no room. He goes, I know Jess is going to want to bring more of this stuff and just put it in the pantry. I said, go ahead. I said, because if shit hits the fan, you guys will be over here anyway. I said, so it doesn't really make a difference now, does it? And he's just like, you're so right, Mom. I should just bring all of our supplies over here anyway. So they'll probably bring all of their prepping supplies over here anyway. So, but yeah, this is so true. You know, no one's coming to save us. It's up to you, the individual, to save yourself. It really, truly is. So watch this video with me. This is really, really interesting. I'm not going to turn the sound on or anything, but you can tell exactly what it is. This is what is called a growing project, and this is really, really interesting. This is actually something that I would actually consider doing. Because I love my drought-resistant succulents, and it says in the in the title, if you don't like your neighbors, well then you're in luck. What this is cacti, and they grow it as a fence. So, but I would totally do something like this if I didn't have dogs. You know what I mean? But another really good thing to use that's fast growing and that is also really good for, to use as fencing is bamboo. That's another drought resistant succulent, and it grows really fast, and you can use that also as fencing. Yeah. So here's an email from a community member, and she said, Tuesday night of last week, we were asleep in bed, and the dog sleeps in the bed with us most of the time. I was awakened by her low, serious, rumbling growls, and suddenly she left the bed and the room, and I heard her barking in the kitchen. I had the flashlight in one hand and protection in the other, and was cautiously advancing towards the kitchen when the dog came walking back to me. She looked at me like, "Why are you here, Mama? I took care of it. Let's go back to bed." I went to the kitchen, and the kitchen door was pulled to the door frame, but not closed. Uh-oh. I now stood in the front of the door looking, and then carefully opened the door, and the screen door was unlocked and standing open. Oh, shit. So I backed up quickly, quietly, reached out, closed the screen door, locked it, then closed the wooden back door and locked it. Damn, that was close. Now the interesting part. The way the dog was barking was not so much of a warning bark, not her usual loud intruder bark, not her stranger bark. This was her, "I know you, come in the house and play with me" bark. It was not loud. It was a bark she uses when she knows a person. She rages at the mailman. She accepted and tolerates the garbage guy. She does not trust the joggers and the dog walkers and others who walk down the street, even if they are on the other side of the street. Some delivery men she likes. She likes the pizza guy because she loves pizza. Maybe he will share with her. Oh shit. Okay, and some pizza delivery she does not want in the yard, definitely not in her yard. She's going to teach them not to be on her porch or knock on the door. You know how dogs are. She barks joyously at the next door neighbor who comes over and walks her and plays with her and is trying to teach her commands in Spanish. The bark she used on Tuesday night, actually Wednesday morning, was someone that she knew, and she has been here before, like inside the house with us. She considers a friend, someone she thinks is allowed in the house, someone who thought they were about to be attacked that night. Other things have been happening. Someone broke off the branches of my pokeweed poke salad plants. My tomato plants disappeared. Chamomile plants were trampled. My white clover patch was destroyed. My solar fountain for the bird bath is gone. Some of my petrified wood is gone from the back steps. Things are missing from the shed. The kind of things you would say to yourself, "I know that was there. What is it?" And things that you don't think of until you want to use them and can't find them. knowing you put it right there and it's not there. I've called the sheriff a few times saying someone was in my yard, then walked across the front yard and now it's in the backyard. Dispatcher asked me how I knew 2:30 in the morning. I told her the way the dog is acting. She knows the person and is asking to be let outside to play with them. She thought I was nuts and wanting attention. 2 cars of deputies came out and didn't find anyone. I asked him if he heard the dog bark when he was in the yard. He said yes, it sounds big. I told him I knew when they were in the yard, and I told him they were where they walked and looked by observing my dog, so now he thinks I'm nuts too. I'm very sure the visitor was my 14-year-old criminal of the year who I have filed charges against that disturbs me. He uses substances, smokes the green, and likes to play with pew-pews. His best friend is just like him, and the friend's uncle is a substance dealer and a pew-pew provider. No kidding. At this point, I am no longer concerned or scared of the 3 of them. I will protect my partner and my dog and myself. I'm upset with the court system here that lets juveniles get away with so much serious crime. It's the same way everywhere. They literally, they commit a crime and then they get released into the parents' custody. It's the same way. This time, officers went to his house to arrest him, and he attacked and fought the 4 of them. Took 4 of them to restrain him, 4 grown-sized men to restrain a taller than me skinny kid. I'm 4'11" on a good day when I stand up straight. He's been to court at least 5 times, and I know of and only gets a slap on the wrist. Judge refuses to take this seriously, wants to keep the kid's family together. This mini terrorist hits with his fists. His mother and older brother break out windows, sneak out of the house, through windows, usually at night, continuously runs away from home, stole, used substances, lies thrown out of not only the school here that he was attending, but the entire school district. He keeps getting away with it, no consequences. He's a frequent flyer, and he's on his way to an early grave or prison. Judge will only mandate domestic violence class, anger management class, or put him in residential treatment facility because the family is more important. It needs to be kept together. Only reason something is halfway being done is now because I was 79 at the time of the crime, 80 now, and I'm disabled. $1,003 in November 23rd. I thought at the time I was hacked. I didn't know it was him and 2 of his friends. Got into my Cash App, sent money to his friends, and they split it up. Then in January of this year, he did it again. This time I knew it was him and talked to his mother. She wanted me to press charges. She begged and insisted that I do this because her son is out of control and court would not help her. She hoped this would be serious enough to get to court to do something. F4 telecommunications fraud. $755 taken from my Cash App the second time. November, I canceled all my cards and got new ones. Then it happened again in January. Credit union would not reverse the charges to my account or help in any way. Both times I handed him my phone when I asked him to call his mother, and that gave him permission to use my phone to steal from me. Credit union wanted me to pay to replace 4 debit cards. No. Wonder why I don't sleep at all. Only sleep about 2 hours, get up, check the house, go back to bed, fall asleep, wake up, rinse and repeat. Wow. Oh my God, that's so crazy. What is going on with this justice system? Oh my God. But yet, if he turns out to be the next school, you know what? They'll arrest the parents. But you know what? They've had enough time and how many warnings that this kid was a troublemaker, and yet they still do nothing. And before I go, here is an email from a community member, and she said, "Hey girl, just got power back on here in Western North Carolina. I'll write more about that soon, but for now, my husband's customer runs several gas stations in the area. They get their gas from Colonial Pipeline Storage Terminal out of Spartanburg. They have been told they are not shipping any gas at this time. I assume this is due to hurricane damage. Lines here for gas are already so long. Can you get the word out? I don't see anyone reporting this yet. Absolutely. Done. Also, we're literally like out of gas here too, and it sucks because Sean drives 80 miles a day to work, from 40 miles there, 40 miles back. And so believe me, you know it's not easy, and he already went through all of our gas storage that we had, and so hopefully we'll get gas back up and running around here soon, but I don't know. So anyway, all right guys, I'm out of here. I will see you in the next one. You stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping, and as always, fear less.